What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eye Bri, also known as PT, and I'm back to talk about the Walking Dead spin-off show, the third Walking Dead show. Obviously, spoiler warning for that, the Walking Dead universe as a whole, plus comic stuff, all that spoiler warning. Photo credit to the fine folks who've been to Hopewell, Virginia, where they're filming. Everybody there, these are not my photos, I'm just sharing them with you. Photo credit to them for sure. But ultimately, you see the plane crash right here. And it's interesting because it's in the middle of a road. It's there to be seen, and it looks pretty great. So I'm guessing this is the first episode. They started filming this week, and they did some night shoots, and I believe they were filming last night. And not a lot of people have seen the cast because they do block it off when they're filming, and that's all right. And if you've seen the teaser trailer, they highlighted that a plane went down. Probably a fighter jet took down a plane by accident or on purpose. You never know what the story actually is. And this story is going to be about people growing up in the zombie apocalypse. They were probably very young when the apocalypse started, and this is all they know. They've come around the crash site or sites if there's more than one. And I'm guessing it's going to be a big topic of interest for the first episode. Now, Fear the Walking Dead did the whole crash site thing with the plane crash before, but this looks to be different if the concept art is going to happen for the show. You can see a plane crash, but also shrubs and grass have grown around it. So will this be a flashback scene, or will we see it present day, and then later on we'll see grass around it? Now, they brought in different parts of the airplane, which could be a real airplane, or it just could be props that they made, or a little bit of both. But it makes sense if they brought in, a broken down airplane and they broke it down into sections for filming, and it looks pretty great. And I have to say, I do love the promo photos. They got my interest if it's done right. It can look great here and crap on television. But I do like the walkers stuck with cables, and they were stuck like that. So we'll see it at present day or a flashback. And this is present day. It's kind of cool either way to see change over time, because that's what I would love to see if The Walking Dead went back to Atlanta and they saw Atlanta and the city and the shrubs growing over the roads and the grass, weeds everywhere, because that would happen for sure. But here's some great photos from Robert Morris, I believe. Shout out to him and the Walking Dead family. And you can see the plane is in the road, and the way they did it, it's like it went down like into the gravel in the street, and it broke up the street, which is pretty cool. And I doubt they actually broke the street up because you have to use it after they're filming, but it looks pretty awesome. And I hope The Walking Dead and AMC and Stalwart Films and all the people that film for The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, they clean up after their mess, because they're making the street look pretty terrible. And there's been reports of different filming sites of different Walking Dead shows that it's been a problem, allegedly. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen with this show. Initially, it's like, okay, kids growing up in the zombie apocalypse, interesting. It's going to focus around two female characters, and what does that mean? Are they sisters? Are they friends? Are they cousins? Or is one good, one bad, or one sees the world one way and one sees it another? And I just hope it's interesting nonetheless. I don't want some whiny, annoying kids and some boring television show that's not worth it. The Walking Dead is a brand, and I hope this show continues on and even makes the franchise better. But the fact that they're focusing around a crash site is interesting, because this is supposed to take place in the zombie apocalypse already. So when did this plane go down? Is it present day? Is it in the past? Are we going to see a flashback of then and now and then and now? And Fear the Walking Dead tried that in season 4 and really didn't work, in my opinion, as it was too much flip-flopping. You can have a then and now approach, but do it in a subtle way and don't constantly be flip-flopping back and forth and back and forth. But it's awesome to see that the sets came in, the props came in, the crews came in, and they're setting up in this small town in Virginia, Hopewell, Virginia. And I wonder why they decided to film here and not in Georgia, because in Georgia, they have some awesome tax breaks if you film there, and there's a reason why a lot of movies and studios and shows film there, but I know there's been some debate on why it is. But either way, I'm excited to see Hopewell, Virginia on screen, because it's a nice, refreshing thing to have a different setting and different area for filming, and I wonder if it's going to take place in Virginia in the story. I mean, I know they're filming there, but that doesn't mean the story has to be there. It could be in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or some other place, and they call it that city when it's actually filmed in another state. So they do that all the time. They film in Georgia, but it's saying that it's Minnesota or Michigan or this, and it's actually filmed in Georgia. Once you find out the filming locations, you can be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can see why. But the airplane is going to be a focus of at least one episode, and I wonder if it's going to be where these people came from. Are these some of the survivors from the plane crash? Or is there a settlement nearby and our group that we're going to meet, Hope, Felix, and a couple other characters are going to be around the area and they check it out? Are they just scavenging for food? Is it kind of like a Star Wars Force Awakens when Rey is going through the destroyer and trying to get parts to salvage and trade for food? That would be interesting. That'd be kind of cool. And the zombie apocalypse is interesting because you can do so many different things. There's only so many different stories you can have, but if it's a refreshing tale for the Walking Dead franchise, I hope it is. I really hope this spinoff is great because I love the zombie apocalypse. I have a 10-book series that's about the zombie apocalypse. I love the survival aspect. What would you do? What wouldn't you do? What shouldn't you do? What's the true problem? Walkers, food, shelter, the environment, people, all of the above, or something totally different. And I just hope the airplane thing is cool. And to be honest, it looks pretty cool. I have to say, it looks pretty awesome here. And it's in the middle of a road, and I'm not sure why it's in the middle of a road. It could have just been in the middle of the woods or somewhere in there, but for some reason, it's in the middle of a street. And they brought it in parts and sections, and hopefully it's pretty interesting and it makes sense because the first episode needs to be great. The pilot episode of any show needs to be great because it draws your attention in. If you're like, man, this is dumb, I don't want to watch this anymore. I've done that with shows. And I personally think that if you have a brand like The Walking Dead, all this stuff should connect. The universe should connect in one way, shape, or form to connect with the big story, the greater story, the greater good. It's pretty awesome to see the streets like this too. They do a great job of building the atmosphere, setting it up, and having you be in a zombie apocalypse. It's probably great for the actors because you're like, okay, I feel like I'm here in the zombie apocalypse because it looks like it. It looks pretty great. There's overturned cars and flipped here and down power lines, and it just looks like a dystopian universe, and that's what you want to see. I know I do. I personally love the Walking Dead franchise because of that, because of the idea of if your world was flipped, turned upside down, what would you do? How would you survive? If you didn't have electricity, power, the internet, a smartphone. Man, that's crazy to think. What would you do here? If you've ever lost power for several days, if you've been in a hurricane situation or a natural disaster situation where you didn't have power for 3, 4, 5 days or several weeks, it kind of feels like this. So it's like, man, this kind of sucks. If you lose power for a couple minutes, some people don't know what to do. They're like, what am I going to do? I don't have my internet. Right? It's hilarious. But it's interesting to see this coming together more and more and more. Thank you to everybody who sent me photos, information, articles, everything about it. I'm excited just like you are too. I'm excited for this show to be great. Some people are already giving up on it before we even seen one episode. We have to wait till spring 2020 to see how this looks, what's going to happen, and how's it going down for the universe. I hope that it connects with the Rick Grimes movies and or The Walking Dead, or at least Fear the Walking Dead in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's going to be good, if they're going to greenlight it for more than one season. We're getting 10 episodes that's going to be coming out spring 2020. And I truly hope that Scott Gimple knows what the plan is going to be for this show, The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, the Rick Grimes movies, and the future of the franchise. Because hopefully they have a plan to continue on for a long time, or they have a plan to have this for a couple seasons and Fear the Walking Dead for another season or two. And probably The Walking Dead will probably have 2 or 3 more seasons, and it should connect some way with the Rick Grimes movies, but we're still waiting on that. I love this picture right here because it's like, man, this looks pretty awesome. Now, I'm not sure what the lights are in the background, if it's just fluorescent lighting, if it's the community that they're at, if there's a rival community, is there a problem with 2 groups? Because that would be pretty great. As for the cast, it's a lot of kids. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad and what they're trying to do with the cast, if they're trying to have the demographic be the kids. Is this going to be a kid's show? Is it going to be watered down? Is it going to be interesting? Is it going to be dumb? Is it going to be something that I don't want to watch right away? Or is it going to be a kid's show of The Walking Dead, like The Walking Dead Kids? Do we really want to watch that? Because I have no problem with the 100 or Hunger Games or the Maze Runner franchise, and that's kind of kids. They're older kids, but I'm guessing these kids are teenagers or preteens. And I know a lot of people are already thrown off because of that, but we could get some adults, and we need to have some adults. We wouldn't want to just watch the Carl, Enid, Sophia show, we got to have Rick and Daryl and Carol plus Carl and Enid. And here we have a new cast member that was just cast this week, Nico Tortorella, I believe his name is Tortorella, but he is Felix on the show. Fix-It Felix, right? If you know Wreck-It Ralph. But hopefully Felix is cool with Hope and the rest of the cast members. So that's some interesting information and some photos. And I have to admit, I'm kind of excited about this show. I'm excited to see where it's going to go, if it's going to be good or not. But I was also excited for Fear, and it's not the best show in my opinion. So hopefully they learn from the past what to do, what not to do. And thank you to everyone that has shared the information, the photos, the links, the articles, everything with me. Thank you. Photo credit, info credit to the fine folks that I credit at the beginning of the video. I appreciate it. I truly do. Walking Dead family for sure. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. And please, guys, hit that subscribe button to join our Walking Dead family. 100,000 subscribers is our goal. We need 17,000 more. Please help us achieve that goal this year. And if you love the zombie apocalypse like I do, check out my book series. It's on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We got paperback and digital versions. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. And as always, tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.